The topic of fitness comes up a lot in my conversations with patients throughout the day. And, part of what I think is important about fitness is actually understanding that fitness is not just one thing. People like to do different types of activities. They may do yoga or Pilates or CrossFit or go to the gym and lift weights. There's no real right way to do fitness, but there are different components of fitness that allow us to, really make our body stronger over time. And so part of what I want to do in this video is to be able to break down these different parts and to help you understand how to maybe use different activities to help you in your life. So the way that I look at fitness is through this lens. That within fitness there's flexibility, there's strength, there's balance, there's coordination, there's endurance. Sometimes we may have good flexibility, but we don't have good endurance. We don't, like if you've ever gone running for the first time, you have a hard time actually having any sort of endurance and distance to that. And so endurance is part of the equation of keeping our body in a more fit, more active, more vital place. But we've talked about in other videos how the opposite of flexibility is not tightness. Flexibility is this elasticity to the tissue, and the more elasticity there is, the less support there is for the body and for the joints and for the movements. And so, when we look at flexibility, the opposite of flexibility is really stability. And the more stable your body is, the more you're going to be able to execute movements, be able to push your body more than you would otherwise. If your body has weakness in it, and sometimes when they get too flexible, there's this idea in our society that somehow more flexibility is better, and the more the merrier. The challenge is that the more flexible one becomes, the less stable they become. And when that happens, it causes weakness in certain parts of the spine and the body, which then makes a person more prone to injury. So, I think it's really important to make sure that we're exercising and moving our body throughout the day. A lot of the research is showing that we really should be exercising several hours a day. And many people are having trouble getting to the gym or coming up with a routine. For myself, what I like to do is I like to do mini exercises. So I would say do 1 or 2 minutes at a time where I'm focused on what it is that I'm doing and not really thinking about the next thing that I'm going to do. Or I'll do a little challenge with myself where I'll exercise for one song an hour. Set my alarm for an hour. I'll pick a song, something that's really upbeat, and I'll do exercise for that one song. And then when it's done, I get back to work and I do what I do. So let's say a song is 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you do 10 of those a day. That's close to an hour a day. So it doesn't have to mean going to the gym and working out in the gym, but it could mean that you're breaking down your exercise into different increments. All of these components are important. Again, flexibility, strength, balance, coordination, agility, endurance are all balance. I think I said balance. Are all part of the fitness of the body, the movement of the body. So, when we look at flexibility, some people, they're not flexible enough. They need to stretch, and it's understanding the difference between when something is actually moving the way that it should and have a good range of motion, or whether there's some sort of limitation because your body can't move in that way. And as we age and our body changes, the flexibility of our body changes. So it's important to make sure that we're working on flexibility throughout our life. If we're putting too much emphasis on flexibility and we're not looking at the more on the stability side of things, we I tend to, over the years, I found that I tend to focus more on strength building and how I can make my joints and my muscles stronger. And when you do that, not only are the muscles stronger, but there's also more elasticity in the body. There's a stretch to it that happens simply because you're moving your body. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to stretch, meaning doing a static stretch, holding a muscle for a period of time, or really elongating your body. So stability always precedes flexibility. Balance is another thing. It's very common for people to break a hip or to fall as they age. And so balance is one of those elements that we don't really think about until we need it. But practicing balance. So I remember years ago somebody gave me this suggestion to get out in nature and walk on the edge of a curb or walk on a log or step over rocks. We would go climbing with the kids and with the dog, and we would climb over the rocks, and the rocks are uneven. And so again, having this balance to build the stability, or even standing in one place and standing on one leg, or standing on one leg and bringing your arms up over top of your body. There's different ways of building this balance. As I'm thinking through this conversation, I've been through all sorts of different athletic competitions and different workouts. I tend to get somewhat bored with what I'm doing, and so I like to change things up periodically. And currently, right now, I'm focused more on body weight exercises, resistance, some HIIT-oriented, which stands for high intensity interval training, where I'm doing sprints, or I'm doing push-ups or squats, and then I'm recovering and I'm walking it out. So flexibility, strength, balance, endurance. Endurance, we don't really get to take our endurance with us. And I discovered this when I was doing triathlons for many years. I did triathlons for mainly Olympic and half Ironman distance triathlons for about 8 years. And during that time, endurance was the thing that I needed. And my longest race was 5 hours and 49 minutes. That's a lot of endurance to have, and you have to be able to keep up a pace for a period of time. But we don't take that with us. We lose our fitness over time, even strength and flexibility. If you don't stretch, or you don't strengthen your body, or you don't work your body, and you don't to push the intensity of what you're doing. I don't mean like push it as hard as you can. It doesn't mean going 100%. It means going more than you're currently going now. So when I'm pushing my body, I'm looking to just continue to get my heart and my lungs and my body working better over time. But we lose that over time. And so I've had times in my life where I've had injuries, and my body develops a certain weakness in that area, and it takes a little while for me to be able to start again. And when I start again, I'm really kind of starting over. And so I tend to take more of the approach of slow and steady over time. And as we take a gradual approach to improvement, we're looking for this gradual improvement over time so that our body can stay stronger, stay more flexible, stay stronger, have more endurance, keep balance, have coordination, have agility, have all these things that allows the body to stay strong over time. I want to talk about one other element here, which is, especially with fitness, there's the challenge is oftentimes with what I call wear and tear, right? There's wear on the body. And so as a runner for many years, I started wearing on my joints. I was wearing on my knees, wearing on my ankles, wearing on my hips, wearing on my shoulders. And, no matter what what exercise you're doing. I've got a patient right now who's a golfer. He's almost a scratch golfer, which means that he hits pretty close to par, which is incredible. I've never been able to play that well, but you know, all that rotation, you know, you're rotating your body over and over and over again. This guy's got scoliosis, and so he has scoliosis. He's rotating his body. There's wear and tear there. He started having pain down one leg. He's in his early 30s. So this is not necessarily an age thing, but you know, we can start wearing our body out pretty young. You know, I played competitive tennis when I was 14, 15 years old. I played a lot. I was playing 6 or 7 sets of tennis a day. You know, I didn't understand moderation. I didn't understand warming up. I didn't understand rehab. I didn't understand cross training. I didn't understand a lot of things related to how I took care of my body. But I was, you know, I was 14 or 15 years old. I had grown a lot in those years, and I had a really, really strong serve, and I was beating the adults, so I felt really proud of myself. But in the repetition of, you know, always hitting the ball, serving the ball, you know, I caused severe tendonitis in my shoulder, and I couldn't play anymore. And even to this day, the injury that I caused in my shoulder when I was younger prevents me from really being able to use my body now. I love to be able to play more tennis. I just find that if I'm serving the ball, if I do it too much, I get some irritation in the joint, and it just isn't great for my body. So it's understanding your own body. It's understanding the type of activity that's best for you. And there's not one way of doing things. And if you get really attached to doing things one way, you may be doing that at the exclusion of other things that are not supporting your body, supporting your long-term aging and the way that you're taking care of your body. So anyway, this is the conversation. Somebody's calling me from the office here, so I got to take it, but this is this is about fitness and the way we take care of our body, and it's important for the aging of our muscles, and the aging of our bones, and the aging of our cells, so that our body stays as strong as possible for as long as possible. That's what I got for you. Hope that answers your question.